You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Ball Talk of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 360 of East Central's favorite podcast because we ran Juice in the Morning out of the business. Jeremiah Morrell, executive video producer, audio engineer, Zach Burcham is here.
Yep.
Welcome.
Good evening.
You're having a great time.
I've already screwed up one thing today, so killing it.
We just did an extra mega long Patreon. So if you guys want to join the Patreon, you get that. And we found a way to actually get it back and get the audio, and it's we've got that out of the way.
You'll never know what happened.
You won't know that we came. Sometimes we work without a net, and sometimes we have a net. We needed the net today.
Sometimes we cut the net out from under ourselves without even knowing it.
So our do you want to be called a co-host or a guest? Which you choose your own adventure, Mr. Harcourt.
How much does a co-host get paid?
The same as a guest.
Same as a producer.
Let's go with all two. Let's go both of them.
All right.
I
So
can do both.
returning guest who is now in the co-host chair, Adam Rushville Zone, Rushconian, Adam Harcourt, Bones. You got 2 feet taller since you were here last time.
Or you got 2 feet shorter.
That probably happened too. I definitely got thicker probably since the last time we were here.
No, I think you got a little skinnier.
Bones is hanging out with us. We're gonna have some fun going over all the happenings. His part of the world has got is in on the big hunt for grant money. Rush County, Henry County, and a bunch of others are gonna be chasing out some READI grants. Talk about that. See what some projects are out there, and I'm going to throw them out and see if Bones and Zach think they're worth anything and what's going to get allocated. It's fun. It's like the Hunger Games for communities where we put everybody up against each other.
It really is.
and see who's going to benefit. And then Zach and Zach's favorite thing, his pathway to work has got a special speed traffic zone. We're going to do a whole segment on that today. And since we were credentialed media for the Indiana State Fair, we're going to do a little bit more State Fair wrap-up talk as well. That's the plan. Bones has brought along some samples, so he's definitely earned his pay today. You have a special relationship with this is not a sponsored plug. This is literally just, hey, Bones gets to do this cool stuff in the bourbon world. You have been hooked up with the Bobolink folks down in Rush County, Rushville.
Yeah.
That's the liquor store of the community, the number one liquor store of Rush County.
And of Cambridge City, too.
I know they are right there on 40 in Cambridge City.
He's got 2 in Cambridge City, 2 in Rushville, and I think 1 in Centerville.
Yep.
Oh,
you're good. If you talk, they'll just hear you better if you talk into the microphone. So you've been doing these store pick things. I guess if you buy enough bourbon, they invite you to go on these little trips.
I guess so.
So you brought 2 special editions with you today. One is from Jay Mattingly's.
Yes.
What distillery is that? Is that called Jay Mattingly's?
Jay Mattingly is kind of, they blend their own.
Okay.
They're literally right across the street from Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
But all their Jews come
in Frankfort, Kentucky.
In Frankfort, Kentucky. All their Jews came from MGP, which is Lawrenceburg, Indiana, which is really the bourbon capital of the world.
Yes. That's where everybody buys their stuff.
So this was a blend of 6 barrels, and probably 6 of us went down, and we blended it all together, and this is what we came up with.
So you got to blend this and be a part of actually making what's in this bottle.
Yes.
Very cool.
We got to pick the label, the coloring, everything.
The whole deal.
Yes.
So the blue and white swirly top is the Bones edition.
Or the, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Very cool. All right. So we're going to try that. This show is about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we'll provoke you, other times to make you laugh, but hopefully you'll always learn something new. So there were like 150 of these bottles made?
No. There was...
Or 90. It says
90.
46 of 90.
90.
So how many of them did you buy?
I bought a case, so 6.
You have 6 of the 90 bottles. How many of these is this the end of it?
I have that and 2 other bottles left. One I don't think I'll ever open.
Okay, that makes sense. You know, you can open it and then just it got hot. What's the proof of that?
The proof, 116.
Yeah, okay. I normally drink like a 90 proof
Well,
or 93 proof.
today we're going to put on our big boy pants.
I was just, what was it I was just listening to, and I heard something about a type of alcohol, and they called it like Navy grade or military grade. And somebody's like, oh, I thought that meant it was weaker or something. No, and they said no, it was this alcohol that was distilled to be strong enough that if it broke on a ship and leaked into the magazine, that it was flammable enough that it would not negatively impact the flammability of gunpowder.
Oh.
And he's like, I don't know if that's true or not. Man, I don't know where I heard that from. That's reminded me. Probably an old wives' tale.
We're working on Bones bottle number 1. So that's the. So they let you do a store pick. You mix that, and then the second one that we're going to get into later in the show is from Hard Truth in southern Indiana, down in Nashville, Indiana. I'm going to write down the time we started here because I'm a professional, or at least something close, so I have a clue. Hard Truth is a fun spot too.
It's fun. Real fun.
Yeah,
real fun.
What's the next one? Have they said no more to these trips for you? They said, Bones, you've gone twice, no more.
I haven't gone on any. I know they went to Bardstown and did a pick here recently, so that should be coming in soon. But I wasn't able to go on that work wise. But other than that, I don't think we have any other scheduled right now.
All right,
they're not telling me.
If I'm going to get myself back on program here. Otherwise, I'm just going to drink with Bones all night and get myself in trouble. Got to say thank you to the patrons. John Phillips, Andy Moore, Buick GMC, Fishers, Indiana, and Sports Corner and Varsity Outfitters, Blake Reese, the official embroiderer of Boss Hog of Liberty. Do our hats, shirts, whatever you need. If you want a special Bones edition polo shirt made, we can have it. We can have it done down there. Mm-hmm. Those folks contribute $50 or more a month to the program. The Patreon this week, because of the way the timing worked out, and we lost Chase Payton for the evening. Bones said, "Hey, I can join you at 8 or so." I said, "No problem. Zach and I will riff." You got like a 33-minute Patreon.
Yep,
it is massive.
Yep,
and it goes into a lot of fun stuff. So enjoy.
A lot of me venting. I had a very long day.
Zach had the world's longest Saturday possible.
Yeah. It was. It really was.
So if you want to hear about it, jump in there. All right. So this week, the Courier Times, our friends over at the Courier Times have done a phenomenal job of sharing what's going on in the local community here with a regional partnership and how there are funds that communities get to put together. So we are a part of the East Central Indiana Regional Partnership. Delaware County, Rush County, Henry, Blackford, Fayette, Grant, Wayne. Those 8 communities together are essentially an economic zone, right? So it's like everybody that's east of Indianapolis is teamed up together. And they applied to the state of Indiana. It's we play this game of giving them our money, and then we get really nice and fill out some forms, and we say, "Hey, can we have some money back, Phones?" That's the way it goes. And then we competitively try to get projects. So 170 projects were applied for in the area, and 16 projects were identified and ranked, and 5 of them have been sent for further consideration. The Courier Times has gone through, and the Henry County projects, they've identified what's out there and what potentially could get funded. So we'll go over there a little bit. The county here is going to say you have to have matching funds. You have to multiply your money. So they have the food and beverage money, which is often used for building things out at the Henry County Saddle Club, has been used for splash pads, Hall of Fame, those sorts of projects. The 1% that you pay on your food and drink when you go to a local restaurant, that's where this money's coming from. So they got about $2 million to decide what they're going to do with. I think they're spending a bunch of money right now, Zach, over at Memorial Park in the upgrades that are happening out there, the pond dredging and so forth.
Slowest project ever.
Oh, there's other projects that are slower.
I don't know.
We're here.
There's grass growing. The pond is now a prairie. because they drained it like in the spring.
There's progress being made. We're already at an aside.
Yeah.
There's progress being made. They had a bid opening this month. I think RB Juergens out of Ohio was just under $800,000. And hopefully they'll award. They had like 5 bidders. RB Juergens is a great company, a customer of mine, by the way. They built some bridges.
I was just a little surprised that they waited till the grass was growing and needed mowed in the pond before they took the bids.
So what they're going to do is they're going to haul out a bunch of dirt. So it doesn't matter if there's grass growing in there. They're going to excavate it out and haul it out of there, and the pond's going to get deeper. All right, so that's happening. You ready to review some of these projects, Mr. Bones?
Absolutely.
I want your official opinion here.
Okay.
All right. These are listed in the order they were submitted, not in the order they've been ranked. The town of Knightstown, Indiana, is working on wanting to do a Blue River Park, and they are asking for $79,000 of $109,000. They want to do some river walk enhancements, a trail, picnic areas, river access points near the Knightstown public access site of the Big Blue River.
Where is the public access side of the Big Blue River at Knightstown?
I think it's right there on south of County Road 1200 North and east of Road 140. 1200 North would be damn near in Rush County. That's like
That is Rush County.
That's a Rush County road.
Yeah.
So the town of Knightstown is doing this, but I think it's a east-west road. I think it's the county line road.
Okay.
So you probably like that one since it benefits you
Absolutely.
personally. Big kayaker.
Yeah. Big.
You fit in a kayak? Or do you need like 2 of them? Or a 2-seater where you sit in the back? This man is like 7'7".
We're not 7'7". We're 7'3".
Okay.
Depending on what Village Pantry I walk into. But no.
Do you know Village Pantry was owned by Marsh?
Is it really?
It was. Well, not anymore.
That explains what.
But it was a Marsh grocery.
Are there still Village Pantries around?
I think in Muncie.
There's one in Rushville still.
Is there? I mean, the Marsh is gone.
Rushville still has a Radio Shack. You can't use Rushville as an example of what things are actually still real because they never closed them. You guys still have a Staples?
We do. We don't have a Walmart anymore.
Yeah, you guys lost your Walmart. What are they doing? They're doing something
It's
with
going to be
Walmart.
a huge community
finally,
center.
Yeah.
Is it?
Friend of the show, Chris May.
You guys are very good about reusing things. Because you're a theater.
Our Walmart's a church now. You're just not a God-fearing Baptist.
Oh, they're every time I roll through Rushville, which is frequently because it's an alternate to I-70 and going to Indy, going south, I look at your guys' theater / town hall thing, and I know that you guys were a stellar community. I'm like, dang, that looks nice.
It is nice.
The really cool thing about what Rushville did is that they turned a gas station into a pizza shop. And I don't know.
So did Moreland.
I don't know if it's still, yes, they did. And I don't know if it's still there, but I think you turned like a tire and battery shop into an axe throwing facility.
And a chicken buffet.
Chicken processing?
Yeah. The chicken lunch.
Like chicken wings or whatever? Or
yeah. Fried
chicken?
chicken during lunch hours.
Project number 2. Henry County Community Commons, Newcastle Main Street. They are asking for $200,000 of $550,000. A proposed flexible use plaza and gateway in the center of downtown Newcastle, currently known as Citizens Corner. Zach, do you know anything about this project?
Not really. I know that I'm familiar with that area. Obviously, there's a mural that they got put up there that was done by and I can't remember her name now. The
Pam Bliss.
Yes.
How about that? Huh?
Yeah, she's the one that did the Reggie Miller.
She did the
mural downtown, and also the probably I'm guessing the Kurt Vonnegut one was hers as well.
She did the Bob Jenkins in Liberty, Indiana.
Yeah, the Bob Jenkins ones is fantastic on the side of the IGA.
Oh my God, the gasoline.
No, I should ask because I know that Carrie was asked about the state of Citizens Corner, but they do a good job. It looks nice. It's a nice area to hang out. It's about 2 blocks from the studio. I want to really know what they do with it for $550,000 because it is not a large space. So it's serious investment in a relatively small geographical area.
Henry County 4-H Center, the Henry County Expo Center, Inc. is the official group that applied. They're asking for READI funds. They are looking to get their water and sewer infrastructure completed. They're asking for $500,000 of $2 million if it's required.
You're the expert on this one, aren't you?
Yeah, that project's been around a long time. It's one of those where we're pregnant with it. We got to have it at some point. It's a
third rail.
I don't think anybody's happy with how long it's taken or the fact that it's undone or half done. Bones, you've listened to 360 episodes of this show, so this is not a secret to you.
It's not. Some I listened twice.
Thank you for that.
I have a question. Is this one and the next one related? Because it sounds like it.
I think they're similar, and maybe it's just two bites at the same apple. The next one that also applied is the Henry County Memorial Park Infrastructure Improvement Project, feasibility and design layout of a new water main. So one is black water and one's fresh water, Zach. Water main within Memorial Park based on preliminary design from FPBH that they put together earlier this year. $2 million project asking for $400,000. So our park, man, that park is in rough. I was on that park board close to 10 years ago now.
It at times has been the most dysfunctional government board in the county.
There are so many active projects that are happening in there. There's a bridge that needs repaired that's shut down right now. The pond is actively getting fixed. The shelter house is actively getting a massive improvement to it. The expo project is mid process, but it still needs more love. There's so many acres and so much work that needs done out there. I drove around to peek at the expo center last week, 2 weeks ago, and the county does not maintain the roads that are out there.
Oh no, they're horrible.
And it looks like it's just the pavement has given up this year in the park, to the point where it's like, man, they've got to pave that too. That's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars.
It's like
to mill it and fix it.
Yeah, it's a little over a mile to do that whole side of the park, just that one side.
Yeah,
because the loop that goes around the kind of the little area that the expo center sits on is right at a mile. Because we had the cross country kids out there quite a bit, and it was a pretty good cross country effort just to run the road there. But yeah, it's not in good shape. And then parts of the ground around it are not great shape because they tore them up to build a building and then just stopped at a certain point. So they never finished like the landscaping and stuff around there. But yeah,
there's just so many active projects.
At this point, we need to finish it. There's some people that want to bulldoze it. It's too far gone to be doing that. It's not like framed up. It's like there's a building there with windows in it that needs to be finished.
Christy Avery wants to know if they're removing the gators from the pond. I think they moved them to the upper pond. So once they fill the lower pond, the middle pond up, the gators can then swim back down freely. So the gators should be fine.
They airlifted it with the geese.
Yeah. The geese are babysitting the gators. So that's that one. Let's see. The Henry County YMCA is requesting funds. They're always asking for money. I swear.
I didn't know you guys had a YMCA.
We do.
My wife.
Zach's household is very involved.
I used to work there. Yeah.
Requesting funds to support the updating and expansion of the current facility. $2.5 million. They're asking for $500,000 from READI. That building is actually complete. There's no shade there. It's a great organization. It's just how many. Yeah. And I think they picked up some food and beverage money last time.
Yeah, I think what legit has happened to them is that they have 3 courts, and then now they host Optimist basketball, and they have 1 racquetball court. And if you look at the building, it's obviously been built with expansion in mind. There's 2 hallways that just go to nothing. They can only go so far out the one end though, because they built a trail next to it. They have a little bit of space out that way, but there are times where all the courts are busy for pickleball or whatever's in there, or the Optimist basketball. So they probably could use another 2 or 3 basketball courts.
The Gentleman's Club smells better than it tastes. It's unbelievable. It smells great.
You don't like the way it tastes?
It's just hot. To me, it's hot. It's the overproof.
Until I realized you were talking about alcohol. That was a very strange quote. The Gentleman's Club.
Hold up. Is this the first drink of the day?
Yes, sir. I don't know what you do for a living, but I drove 350 miles today for my job. I was in French Lick today when I hit you up.
Okay. Well, I was out delivering packages.
For which package delivery service?
UPS.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
The big brown truck.
Big brown truck, but we probably shouldn't have started off at 116th per.
Well, we're going in order, so you can. Now my cup is empty. We can move into. Did you think I was drinking at 3:00 in the afternoon?
Well, I thought maybe you had something during the Patreon that you went on and on about.
I did not. I was waiting because I didn't want to drive home hammered.
Okay.
If you'll pour me the next one though, we will work on what's next. Honey Creek. That sounds like Middletown to me. Middletown and Fall Creek Township Parks Department requesting funding for engineering, design, and plans that would add a 1.6-mile extension to the existing trail connecting to Sulphur Springs. They're going to have a trail over to Sulphur Springs.
I'm on board with any of these.
Middletown's going to pay for Sulphur Springs Trail. $650,000. Actually, we as taxpayers don't pay for it, but they're applying for it. $650,000 cost. They want $40,000. They only want $40,000 from the READI funds.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. And I
tick the box and get that one done.
All over any trail expansions. I love trails. I think
I was promised a sidewalk to my house, and they stopped hundreds of feet short. And if I want to go walk to town, I'm going to get run over.
Well, you should have lived in town. You don't live in town. They don't care about you.
They were going to bring it all the way.
Front yard.
They were going to bring it all the way to the Woodbrook neighborhood. It's city limits, and they failed.
Even to
and for that reason, I'm still not voting for Mayor York. That, and I don't live in the town. All right, so this is the hard truth.
Sweet mash rye. So the first one was a bourbon.
Yes,
This one's a
this
rye.
is a rye whiskey.
Yes. 117 proof.
Jesus Christ! I'm glad you got the softy stuff. What is the Peerless that I brought? What's the proof on it?
Peerless has got to be.
It's not this
111.
Yeah, the bottle of this Peerless, Zach, is built like a glass insulator from Hemingway and Muncie.
It is an interesting bottle.
I watched the guy give a tour when we toured Peerless earlier this year. He took that bottle or the similar bottle to it, banged it up against a wood column in the building, and the paint flaked off the column. The bottle is fine. That is a murder weapon.
It's the Cybertruck of bottle.
Yeah,
it is.
But it actually is.
That bottle is. You could smash it off the wall in here.
So you need to give that to somebody
fine.
to like christen a boat and just watch them.
It'll just
total the boat,
bruise their hand, or dent the hull. It's a hull denter. All right, so Zach has already awarded this money to Honey Creek. Congratulations!
First of all, they're only asking for what?
$40,000.
Yeah, out of $650. So they're working, and I genuinely think that trails are one of those things that communities, when they get them, are like, this is awesome, and they use them. The Moreland 5K this year was run on their stretch of trail, and it's gorgeous. Like, they did a killer job. Theirs is completely in trees, so even in the middle of summer, if you need a shady spot to go walk, they have.
And it was all on the trail now.
It was on the new
trail down towards Messick.
You run down the main drag, hop on the trail, and then it goes by the park. And then once you get by the park, with the exception of like one little section, it's all completely canopied by trees overhead. And so it was, and the weather was that great anyway. But it was like fantastic. And you could tell that like they care about it. And like now when you come out of it, there's a Pizza King there, and like, which it was already there, but like they've got stuff going on. So yeah, I'm a big fan of trails.
Middletown Wastewater Treatment Plant, WWTP, if you're in the business. Long-Term Control Plan, LCTP. Collection System Improvements, Town of Middletown. This is where they're asking for the big money. READI funding would be utilized to construct new headworks building I'm too drunk to read this now. To include new screening, grit removal, raw sewage pumping, enjoy your dinner, folks, and non-potable water system. Project doubles the influent treating capacity of the plant. 16.5. These are not cheap. $16.5 million. They're asking for 1.5 from READI.
I'm genuinely curious. It's the first thing I thought of this with Middletown, and they were kind of way out there, is that do they have the money otherwise? Because I know that Newcastle is in a very similar situation where Newcastle's water treatment plant needs like
$30 million.
Yes, like several years worth of Newcastle's entire budget to bring it up to snuff where it should be. They're kind of like they're keeping it going. And I'm thinking, you know what? I bet you can't pump that stuff long enough for like Henry County to have like some kind of like central sewage processing.
You can do it. You have to do well. One, you have to
houses.
You have to do a bunch of force mains and
yeah. But I mean, like, I'm like thinking like, man, you got two towns, and Middletown's a lot smaller than Newcastle. You got two towns that are looking at like probably by the time you get to it, everything done, inflation hits $40 million worth of $50 million worth of work for sewage treatment plants. I don't know what Muncie's or Middletown's budget is, but like I think Newcastle's budget's like 13 or 14 million or something like that.
You know the Rushville budget off the top of your head, Bones?
Not a chance.
Not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big ticket item.
That's a big ticket.
And nobody wants to pay for that.
And they have to have their own 15 million to finish it.
They have to get it from somewhere.
Yeah,
they have to provide some matching money. that screams Okra, Office of Community and Rural Affairs money.
That's the other place that sprinkles the money around.
That's the place where you get your get your money.
Exactly what they did.
Yeah, that's why you see the lieutenant governor coming around, because she runs that department. Did not help her get elected governor, however. Henry County Miracle League Field of Dreams. READI funding would be directed towards the critical aspects of site preparation, accessibility features, infrastructure construction, landscaping, and community engagement. The larger project is the construction of a new field for the group, so that it will provide safe and accessible and inclusive environment for individuals with disabilities to enjoy baseball. They're asking for $1.2 million of the $2.4 million that's required. This is a project I have not heard about yet. I know that they play at a field that's over by the middle school. I'm Ron Burgundy, kind of in the Baker Park area. But that's a hell of a project. That's one of those that's a really awesome idea. We got a lot of stuff that's half done right now.
Well, I'll tell you what was. I feel bad for them, because what happened to them was they fixed up a ball diamond a couple years ago, and they like painted the dugouts and everything out. They didn't drop $2 million in. I'm really shocked. I'll look to see what's a $2 million baseball field look like. But and then they got done, and they painted the dugouts with the Miracle League stuff on there. And then like a year later, the school came in and said, "Yeah, that's going to be the new softball diamonds for the school." And they tore down the dugouts and built new dugouts and stuff, and just took the field over. And then moved the Miracle League folks like a field over.
Newcastle Courthouse Annex Rehabilitation, Iron Men property. So this is a private group. Interior and exterior rehabilitation into 12 luxury apartments, estimated $2.4 million. READI request $480,000. I don't know what building this is.
Is this the building that was supposed to be a hotel/restaurant?
Right next to us?
Yes. Or the next.
I guess that might be the annex.
The other end of this block. Yeah.
12 luxury apartments.
Who's paying for that?
Pass.
$480,000 for us out of the taxpayer deal. You know what they did with the old jail in Muncie? Luxury condos. Downtown Muncie. And I'm sure it's lovely.
That's a selling point.
But
you can't get the smell out of that concrete.
We could seal it in. Yeah, I
just don't see that's a thing
that one doesn't feel like it's for the public good.
No,
like you're saving a building
for 12 people. Like for 12
luxury apartments.
So you're looking at like probably.
And I'm not reading this list to shit all over anything, but that particular one.
So let's say like couples. So you got 24 people. So you're looking at like $100,000 per person of money getting sunk into these buildings. I just don't know. I'd love to see something cool get done with that building, and I actually like the idea of it. If it's the same building, which I think it is, it was the one that there was at one point there was a buyer, and I think that the
county got it back.
They clawed it back. It was going to be a hotel, like a boutique hotel and restaurant. And at this point, this is a crazy thing to say. I think we're like saturated with restaurants. We could stop getting new restaurants for a minute downtown. But that was a cool idea. Luxury apartments. I just don't know.
It'll get Chris Bangle's attention. Luxury apartment. Newcastle Residential Housing Development, DC developed. New residential development of 2 sites within the city of Newcastle. For the potential child care home in partnership with the Henry County Community Foundation. Single family housing, 113 homes, asking for $4.5 million in READI money. It's a $42 million project. 113 new houses is something that sounds spectacular. And we certainly do need to add more houses to the tax base.
I'm curious about where those all are.
It's a good question. 2 sites within the city.
I wonder if one's out by Osborne. If that's the land that they're about to sell off. I think it was to a potential developer. And I don't know where the other one would be.
I really wish I had the Rushville list now, the Rush County list. Because we could pick on Bones and the things he's doing down there and judge them accordingly.
We're doing great things in Rush County.
I know, but you're in this partnership. Y'all are applying for the same.
This is all Newcastle's.
I know. These are Henry County's applications, but there's like 130 of these. And I really wish we could just go through Jay County and Randolph County and see what all these competitive ideas are. Because I think at most you're going to get maybe 2 or 3 in a community done. All right. Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's a huge number, $42 million. But that's a that's something that's actually going to produce revenue. If you get people in those houses,
it's something that it's also like some of that revenue is going to be immediately offset because I'm assuming some of that is the initial build out of the houses, and then you sell them and you immediately get that money back.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the developer is going to get money back. I think the $4.5 million is going to vaporize.
Yeah.
You're putting $4 million towards toward the developer's costs.
I bet that
you're subsidizing the developer coming in.
I bet 13 homes is a lot.
I bet the 4.5 million is going to cover like they're looking for, because I know these used to be a thing that they were supposed to they would put the infrastructure in, sidewalks and roads and stuff, and they were done. They turned over the city. I bet a lot of this is them covering that infrastructure that they should be paying.
Very well could be the water and the sewer coming in. Yeah. Sam Hall Estates, BCT Properties, residential development just north of Newcastle. This is a project we've talked about just off of outside of the road that goes to the prison.
Fired up the NIMBYs.
65 homes, $18 million project, $4 million. So roughly the same cost per house, essentially, but they're asking for double the subsidy or double the money per house that the other one is asking for. Spiceland Hotel Project, Spiceland Venture. Construction of a brand name hotel at exit 123. $10 million project, asking for $6 million of ready money.
No. Do we need a hotel there?
Okay, so Newcastle has a problem. And Newcastle's problem is we don't have a branded hotel. So what the argument is, and I believe this is the case, is that when business people come to town to do business with Newcastle, they do not stay, or with a business in Newcastle, they do not stay in Newcastle.
They stay in Greenfield, but you can't get to Greenfield, so they stay in Muncie or Anderson.
You can get to Greenfield a little bit better. You can get to Greenfield, you can't get back.
You can't get back
because they did open up the eastbound exit a couple of days ago, but because we used to have a what was the Raintree Inn? It was a Best Western. But at some point, the
Holiday Inn that became the Best Western, that became the Raintree Inn.
No, the Best Western, we had a Best Western and a Holiday Inn Express, and they both.
Well, no, but the Raintree was a Holiday Inn, and then it was the Best Western.
Oh, was it?
And then it was built as a Holiday Inn, and then it was the Raintree, and then it had the flash in the pan Oyo months on your own,
dark time,
the Oyo.
So
New Rushville's got a branded hotel, I believe.
Do you again?
I think we have the Quality Inn.
There used to be a Holiday Inn Express in Rushville.
I think that's now the Quality Inn.
Okay.
So
maybe they stay in Rushville.
So basically, they say that if we legit need a hotel that you can like get online, use points or whatever,
have something show up on Expedia.
Yes, I do wonder.
Need a damn Hampton Inn.
Okay, so
very odd.
I thought there was somebody doing this, like that there was a local businessman that was working on this. I wonder, like, how hard would it be to get one of our existing 3 hotels to get branded?
Our Garden Inn was a Hilton Garden Inn. I'm sorry, was a Holiday Inn Express back in the day. That was what it was built as.
Yeah. So we have is it back to the Raintree Inn?
Yeah.
Yes.
Raintree Inn. They lost the Oyo's the dark time. And
Steve Alford All-American.
And then the Steve Alford All-American, which is basically our anchor one. That's the busiest one. And it looks the nicest.
There's only 10 rooms. It has to be the busiest one.
Well, yeah. You know what, though? Every year we host, like for a long time, we'd host a Plymouth Prowler Club meet up here, and there'd be all of them parked over there.
I've never stayed in a hotel in this town. I don't have an opinion on them.
The only one I've ever been in was for the comedy show with you at the Oyo at the time, and apparently
pouring out for Christy Avery and her ability to turn.
Yeah.
Landed her car in the parking lot of DL Couch.
Yeah,
actually in the grass. She didn't make it to the parking lot.
So on this one, I'm just like, at this point, would not be more financially quick to just get one of our hotels up to snuff enough to be a branded hotel. I'm not sure. Maybe there's something in the process that wouldn't be able to make that possible. But I would think it'd be easier to make the Raintree chain worthy again than to have to build another hotel.
I think the Raintree is closer to a bulldozer than being a chain ready anything.
Remember, somebody was supposed to have sunk $2 million in that thing like 3 years ago. 5 years. It's probably 6 years ago now. It's pre-COVID.
The mezzanine fell off of the building, sir. Like it's a motel.
The Steve Alford All-American Inn, then.
Yeah, that or the Garden Inn.
Or the Garden Inn are good shape.
Wastewater improvements to add capacity at 70 and 3 Henry County Regional Waste District. Project would provide a direct pump force main from the interchange to Louisville. Would increase capacity and the ability to serve the undeveloped land along the force mains route. $5 million project, asking for $1 million. at least that one you already have the water treatment plant. But that's the cost of adding 7 or 8 miles of sewer line, Zach.
Yeah.
That's what it costs.
There's a lot of crap on this list.
Same
literal crap.
Same thing. Same type of deal. I-70, State Road 9, town of Knightstown, $23 million to do the same thing to their interchange. They're asking for $2 million. Washington. I think there was some story as well tied to that they had this money in phase 1. It didn't get spent, and now they're trying to get it in phase 2 instead, and they're giving that money back to another project.
So I'm curious with the Knightstown one. So they just built, I don't think it's a hospital. There's a pretty sizable medical building that they just built there, like an expansion of Henry. I think it's Henry Community Health. It's either Henry or Hancock.
I think it's Hancock.
Hancock. Is that on septic then? Like, that was a pretty big building. Are they not hooked to sewer? And the Love's truck stop, and there's quite a bit of development.
There's a big ditch there. Montgomery Creek can take a lot of effluent.
I mean, like, I know nothing. I'm an absolute idiot to this stuff, but like, there's quite a bit of development at 70 and at the Nicetown exit for there not to be sewer run there already. Just curious, just a question.
I'm going to say they don't have it.
That's a big number. $24 million is a big number.
Washington. It depends on which side of the road you're on. If it's north of 40, you say Washington. If it's south of 40, you say Washington. Washington Street Corridor Enhancements, town of Knightstown. Revitalization of Washington Street Corridor between the Hoosier Gym and the downtown square. They're asking for $887,000, $887,995. And they expect it to be $2,527,000 and change. I don't know. Knightstown wants a lot of money from this thing. We're getting to the end of the list as well.
We're either getting rid of crap or we're cleaning up crap.
Lovely project. But man, I don't know. All right. Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame expansion. Funding will assist museum in the installation of cases, digital displays, interactives, and other aspects that will enhance the museum experience. $5 million project. They want $500,000. Total projects cost, all of these in, $136 million. Ready requests are $22 million. So there's $135,000 worth of projects. They're asking for $22 million of the $35 million. So our entire community, if they all get funded, there'll be like $13 million left for everybody else. I don't know. The Hall of Fame's doing a massive expansion right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, they just blew out the back of the building and put a big expansion in. They're still finishing it.
Yeah, that's still actively going on right now. Is there an easy way to look up all these READI projects? Christy, the way I found it was that our friends at the Courier Times published a list for what was submitted, and we have that linked in the show notes so you can see what we're working from. So there's a link to a Google Drive doc in the show notes. Since you're a patron, you can get that, and they're in there. That's what we're working from. I don't have the global list, but that's a great question.
I can only find a list on the Rushville's website, but it's from 2022. So I'm imagining
that was probably 1.0, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. And I know that Henry County has basically the county government had a committee that picked 5 of these and said, these are the ones we want to choose. We don't know what that is yet. So I don't know. It's really interesting to see what actually gets funded. There's 2 ways to look at it. It's we're stealing from people, but somebody's going to get the money, right?
Yeah,
some community's going to get it. They've already taken it from you. Now you have to go back hat in hand and compete for these competitive grants to get your piece of the pie back.
It's the Hunger Games, man.
It is the hunger. The government gets you in line to ask for your piece back to hope that your community can survive.
Just remember that, everybody, when candidate Braun wants more transparency in local government. He didn't say state government. More transparency in local government, and this is how local governments function: is they have to just keep begging for money for roads, because there's READI, there's community crossings that they apply for. I'm trying to think if there's like these, and then there's Ochre grants all the time that are constantly local governments are applying to try and get money to get by. So they need to be more transparent.
$35 million will be flowing in, and that was I think it's about double the money they got from the first time these READI grants came in. $35 million is going to come into these 8 communities. You don't know where it's at. In theory, if Rush County gets an investment, it helps the quality of life for everybody in the area. If it goes into Wayne County, if it goes into Delaware County, it's good for everyone. Grant County is probably not close enough to help us a hell of a lot, but when Zach's coaching up in Marion, maybe he'll get to at least see a nice mural or something, or see their new force main they built, taking the crap water from Upland up to Marion, or whatever they're applying for.
They had a fly-in some kind of thing going on the last 2 months of Marion.
Anything else on READI? You guys got any more thoughts, or we want to move on? We spent a very long time on READI. We read through them all. Sorry, we don't have time for Rush County's list of needs. I'm sure they're great, though.
I tried to find them, but they weren't there.
Damn.
I Googled around.
Well, we can't award them if we don't know what they are. All right. I misspelled authoritarianism, which is terrible of me, but I did it in the parking lot of the casino this morning in French Lick.
Any good?
Safety. I did not even go in the casino. I parked there and I walked into the conference center. I did my meeting like a good guy, and I drove back. And I was home by the 4 o'clock today.
You have changed so much. Proud of you.
I know. I
somewhat.
I just do my gambling on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even have any money in my DraftKings right now. Safety versus authoritarianism. So my day job is in the road construction industry, and the industry has been begging for some way to get people to slow down so that folks don't get killed when they're working on construction sites. The state of Indiana in 2023 passed a law that allows a pilot program so that for the next 4 years through 2028, we have our very first traffic camera set up in the name of safety in active construction zones. So the law allows for up to 4 locations that can move around the state, but 4 construction zones in the state of Indiana to have traffic cameras that are on site that can nab people for speeding in construction zones. They went active for the first time on the 14th of this month. And for the first, it's like a 30-day free trial. It's like an Amazon Prime trial subscription. The first 30 days, so between now and September 14th, you may get a warning for speeding, but there will be no financial penalty.
Okay.
So your chance of speeding is almost over. But it's like the signage is up in the zone, and
Lots
the trucks are out there.
Yeah.
And you're going to start to get in your mailbox, you're going to start to get notified, hey, you were speeding. You just got caught. Don't do this. There will never be any points on your license for this. The first time you get a real one, it's going to be a $0. You're going to basically get one more free warning. After the 30 days are over, you're going to get one more free warning. And then it's going to jump up in price. Your second ticket's going to be $75. The third one, $150. You only get a ticket if you're going more than 11 miles an hour over the posted number. So if it says 55, if you do 67, you're going to get the ticket. You're doing 62, you're good. Thoughts? Consideration? Can you live with this, Zach?
Yeah, I've seen these. They're in the construction zone that I commute through, going to work and back. It is getting the speed down, because I think the first time we rolled by them, we were doing 42 because everybody was kind of slamming on the brakes. They're not obvious. I think it was just the signage for saying that these are being checked, because they are very hard to. They're very hard to spot ahead of time.
They have to be. They have to have workers present by law.
Yes, and
They
there
have
are
to be
workers being
managed by somebody that's actively looking at the software as it's happening, and there has to be signage telling you that the machine is there. Those 3 things will be happening.
There are at least, because they're almost like, they do a lot of signage in pairs, each side of the left, right side of the road. There are, I think, at least 2, if not 3 sets of signs warning you that they're coming. They have like bright fluorescent, like heads up, they're coming. I did not know what the cameras were going to look like. I'm like, what are these things going to look like? There's a lot where they're using them. It's the Greenfield construction zone around 9. There's a lot of work going on. That was a tour the road down to dirt rebuild. They're mounted on the front of 2 Dodge Rams.
They are just on the front bumper.
They're literally just like, it's like a weird kind of like, remind me like if people know like I think it's called like a Ronin arm kind of thing. You see like a big rig except for like camera trucks, like for recording a movie. It's that kind of setup. And they are, as near as I could tell, seeing, because the first day I saw one, I was staring at it because it was facing me right before a crossover. I was like, how does this work? Because in Indiana, it can't read your plates facing you because we do not run front plates in Indiana. I did think to myself, this might be a catalyst for switching that up, because then they could be getting all these out-of-state people. And then I realized what they do is they park them on one side of the wall, and the camera's looking over the wall, so the camera's not in danger, the truck's not in danger, operator's not in danger. Yeah, I've seen it. The days I've seen them, I've seen two, one at each end of the construction zone. They're using them in the right area. At least I'm not upset about that. But yeah, people are going slower. They're going like 55 on the dot, until they probably read up online and figure out they can go 66 and be okay.
So I was in an industry meeting today down in French Lick, and they told us that they're getting live data off of this, so they know if it's working or not. Only 1.5% of the motorists were in the ticketable speed.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
They have knocked it down massively.
Yeah.
Massively.
And I would say that is a change of behavior from my observations of commuting through there. I don't think people were going like, and I'll vent. People have heard me vent about construction zones. So the problem with this construction zone is this construction zone stretches.
It's been there since you were in high school.
Well, it's been there for like the whole summer. But the problem I have with it is that and Jeremiah could probably tell me as to what they're actually doing, but they've torn the road down. But I think they're also doing like a bridge deck widening for 3 lanes to get 3 lanes through Greenfield.
At Greenfield, they're widening the bridge.
They did a 3-lane expansion, and it stops suddenly when you're going east, and it stops because there's a bridge up there. I'm assuming the bridge was not wide enough to put 3 lanes, so they're having to. I think there might be 2 bridges they're having to widen in there, but they finished the lane expansion. But the construction zone stretches from just east of Mount Comfort to or west of Mount Comfort to just east of Greenfield, like a mile or so. They finished the 3-lane expansion that's almost all the way to Greenfield. But they haven't lifted the 55 mile an hour zone, even though there's nothing there. They're done.
You want to know what usually happens with those? Is that they have to keep it an active construction site until the grass grows. Because we have this pissing match that happens that they can't close the contract out until grass grows. There's no
grass.
I know. That's the argument that happens a lot of times, and they don't want to pay to put signage back out there if somebody has to go back and reprint plants.
I'm trying to think.
But they can't close the contract out officially until there's grass.
Because there's sod it.
Erosion. Erosion, Michael.
Grass hasn't grown there in 20 years.
Well, I don't think.
But we have hope this year.
Okay, but correct me if I'm wrong, though, because I'm trying to mentally remember. There's no median there anymore.
No, but on the side of the road.
Oh, no.
Outside.
No,
you can't have mud. You can't have mud,
Gosh,
Zach.
Who cares?
If you go 12 miles an hour over, you know where the money goes?
General fund.
Straight to the general fund. So NDOT doesn't get the extra money. It goes, it's for the kids.
I'd rather go the road.
It's going to go to the general fund.
I want to go into a pot. They give a bonus to the construction workers who are having to deal with the people speeding.
If they get it fast, you just want to pay out to the construction workers.
Yeah, buy them lunch or something like that. Well, hey, some a-hole just rolled through here doing 70 miles an hour. We're all getting pizza.
So we're on a libertarian podcast network. Here we are in the big state of Indiana with Overwatch now. We're just a step away from New York, where the signs say that speed limits are aerial enforced, with airplanes are going to shoot you.
The tickets are smaller because I think it's a max of $150. And what is it? Is it $500 or $1,000 normally it
doubles? Yeah,
if a police officer gets you. This is less creepy to me than the fact that most communities now have license plate readers.
They have the license plate readers.
Yeah, people are all mad about this, but like I think most communities of any size anymore have license plate readers that are scanning your license plates of every car that rolls in and out of their town. So to me, that's more potentially problematic than construction zone. I mean, people die from construction zone, people doing dumb stuff. So I don't know.
People die from hitting 70 going into Indiana from Ohio.
Jeremiah and I get the pure joy of being in all these RV communities. And this might have came up like last week before. And about once a month, somebody will post in on Facebook or Twitter or something like that, but these Facebook groups that they have driven, they're full timers. They've driven I-70 from its origin to its end, and the worst it is Indiana.
I was sitting with one of the largest contractors in NDOT today at the table telling my I-70 Broken Leaf Spring story, and I was telling my story loud enough so that the NDOT management that was at the next table over could hear me talk, and I repeatedly told the story that I have driven in the last 2 years from New Orleans to Montreal, and the worst asphalt conditions I experience are between the Indiana state line with Ohio and Mount Comfort. That was the worst I've had.
And they're doing some pretty aggressive, I'm not going to even call it patchwork. They're just replacing sections of the road. I think on the weekends, because I just drive through on they did some in Henry County, but they're doing some farther west. And I drove one of them as the person might actually driven on it. I'm like, well, it's brand new asphalt. And it is like the first stretch of road the Lightning McQueen laid out in the movie Cars. It's undulating. It's like rocking you around. And then they did one of my favorite things. So if you're going west on 70 near the rest area, they paved the fast lane and they paved the slow lane. And there's a section where they did both of them. But did they pave the dotted line in the middle?
Save that nickel.
Hell no. So what is that going to be the worst pothole come winter you've ever seen? Because it is a stretch of it's a strip of pavement that's probably like a quarter. I mean, deceptive.
At least both lanes will be blown apart by
quarter to a half mile. But they saved a nickel by not paving this like 5 to 6 inch strip wide in the middle. Because hey, we saved money on the pavement and we didn't have to paint it again.
The rumor on the street is that Indiana Speaker of the House Todd Houston, Fishers, Indiana, big Hamilton County guy, his goal for this new budget session, his number one goal is going to be what we've talked about on the show for about 5 years now: I-70 and I-65, 3 lanes coast to coast. That he wants to leave this General Assembly with the funding to have that done.
On what timetable?
To have it funded.
Yeah.
It'll probably take 8 years to get it done, but he wants to have the funding in place to get the damn thing done. Which means that we'll finally have we will finally be able to bitch about something else.
By the time we're flying in cars, it was that we'll have 3 lanes.
My favorite was Mark Martin, the NASCAR driver. He has a gorgeous motorhome, and he said 70 is awful in Indiana. He's like, 1, he's like the speed limit's too slow, and 2, the speed limits are slow because if you went faster, he's like, you'd probably break a toe link on your motorhome trying to go through there. I'm like, thank you, Mark.
What's in your cup there, Mr. Bones?
I went to the hard truth. I'm following your line.
You're still on the hard. Well, I'm now into the. I got the Peerless now, in the cup. I think you poured me the Peerless, didn't you?
I did.
All right, Zach, you want to smell it?
No, it'll smell like alcohol.
No, it smells heavenly.
They all smell the same. I think.
Always smells like alcohol, Tim.
Yep.
Topic number 3: Indiana State Fair. We got to visit. Zach, you did your media day out there.
Yep.
Did you get your farm truck parking?
No, they sent me into the normal spot this time. But yeah, she was very disappointed when I showed her my credential and she realized she
couldn't steal $10 from you.
Yeah.
You got a whole truckload of people in for free.
I drove the excursion. Yes, I was loaded up.
17 people in a board excursion. I went back out on Friday night last week for the Gary Allan concert. 21 songs. Fantastic. I knew like 18 of them off the top of my head. I'm a 90s country jukebox in my head, man. I've got the lyrics down. I don't know what I had for breakfast yesterday, but I know every word to, Smoke Rings in the Dark.
21 songs?
21 songs. And he sang. I got there at 6:30. Opener was on at 6 o'clock. This is like the senior citizen special. Show starts 7:32, done before 9. 21 songs, took no breaks. I was home by 10:30.
That's the jam.
It was, oh my God, it was so
There's
nice.
a meme going around that says, let's normalize starting concerts early enough that people can get home at a reasonable hour. And I'm like, yes.
Gary Allan takes the stage and he's like, well, I've never had a concert where I'm looking into the sun. What the hell is this? Thank God for that tree. And I'm like, this is amazing.
You should concerts only need to be late enough for people to get off work and get to the concert.
If an NBA game can be at 7:30, so can a concert. Yeah, it was fine. We got down there. We hadn't had a lot of extra time.
Played like an album's worth.
21. I mean, that's basically two
that's
albums.
It's a good, yeah.
3 albums.
Yeah, I was over the moon happy. Well attended. I was a little awkward in that we brought I didn't know what to bring because I hadn't done a concert at the Indiana State Fair since I saw Bare Naked Ladies out there the day Robin Williams had his incident with a belt. I don't know what day that was, but it's been a while. Is it too soon to break that?
No,
not too soon. Okay, good. Thanks. I needed a judge for that. But that was the last time I had done a concert there.
I'm probably the worst judge on that, by the way.
3 drinks in. Zach's not taking exception, so I'm sure everybody's fine with it. Robin was one of my favorites. It's fine. He would laugh. He doesn't know who we are, or didn't know who we were, but it was fine. Brought the blanket, set out there. It was different because there were people with strollers, and it was great people watching. Great people.
The state fair is the greatest people watching on earth.
But I didn't bring a lawn chair, and I probably coulda, shoulda, woulda brought a lawn chair and just sat in that. But we sat in the blanket. There were a couple other blanket people around us, but it was mostly like people claiming picnic tables or folks standing around. You didn't know how to behave.
Yeah,
I felt like they had a couple of bleachers kind of behind us and a few in front of us, and then they had like a high dollar reserved area. It's like $150 to get real close. And then they had like some church pew seating. So there were like 3 or 4 different zones. Like the church pews, you could claim them if you wanted to.
A chair in
at the state fair, people had lots of chairs. Yeah,
I almost got turned away for a backpack.
I know, it was weird. I had a water bottle and they were kind of weird about it, and it had water in it.
I had thrown a cooler
because your bag could only be so big allegedly.
Yeah, but there wasn't a structure to it. There wasn't like a drop it in the box and see how big it is. It was just he eyeballed it. He's like, "What do you got in there? You got a show or something?" I'm like, no, it's just I literally had a cooler dropped in there. I let him look in the cooler. It was just water and Powerade. He's like, I really shouldn't let you in there. Like, can you do something to make that smaller? I'm like, what? I was just kind of like, it's a backpack full of Gatorade, man.
Just go to another gate.
And so no, I stood around there for a minute. He's like, just go ahead, but just don't tell him what gate you came in. Tell him you came in the south gate, not the north gate or whatever. I'm like, fine.
Real wild. Because we were at Red Rocks last week.
Yeah, you did a big concert out there in Colorado.
And they let everything in. Like,
I was just shocked. He was literally
mushrooms, weed, everything.
Mushrooms, weed, coolers, snacks, everything.
I'm just like, it's the state fair. Who cares? Like, let me carry a backpack in.
So who did you see at Red Rocks?
Revivalist.
I have no idea who that is.
I know. If you like Gary, if you're going to a Gary Allen concert, you're not listening to Revivalist. No.
Yeah. So they didn't do any 90s country hits.
They did not.
Red Rocks looks amazing though. It's
beyond amazing.
They've carved a venue into the side of Red Rocks in the hills of Colorado.
Yes.
Outside of Denver.
First concert there, 1908.
Do they have suites?
They do not.
Do they have real seats?
Yes.
So they put seats in.
Real seats, and there's a pathway in between each seat that you can walk through the aisles without anybody moving. This is the greatest concert venue on earth.
It looks. I've enjoyed all the pictures and things, and it's probably the most legendary spot in North America to have a concert now.
Yeah.
Bucket list then.
Bucket list. Place holds 10,000 people.
Could you fit on an airplane?
Yes.
Okay. Do you need first class?
Nope.
Does Southwest has first class?
Nope.
Exit row?
Nope. I flew middle seat both times.
You didn't even pay to get in the A group?
No,
you cheap bastard.
I didn't even pay to fly. We did standby for free.
I guess. You got to love yourself enough to buy a $40 ticket.
$40? Have you seen plane prices now?
It's probably for one person to go round trip to Denver probably would have cost you $500.
For Midwesterners, we don't.
Maybe 600.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, it depends.
But anyways, Red Rocks, anybody get out there, go see it.
I was jealous when I saw that.
Be prepared.
Zach
to
tried
walk.
to check, but all he saw was your horse collection.
Be prepared to walk.
Well, I now Googled the Red Rocks Amphitheater. I've heard of it. I think I know somebody that goes there. I know some people have gone there because is there another famous venue somewhere else called the Gorge?
Yeah, I think it's Washington, right?
Yeah. Dave Matthews goes there.
Yeah, I mean the Hollywood Bowl's a big deal in L.A. Red Rocks is a big deal. Of course, you have Deer Creek in Noblesville. That's a big deal.
Seconds. So, like I said, Red Rocks holds 10,000 people. 2016, they had a stat where they sold almost $1 million concert tickets. Red Rocks is number 1 that year. Number 2, Rule Clips,
the lawn, Deer Creek, Verizon Wireless
whatever,
Music Center,
whatever we're
brought to you by
calling it
Royal
now.
Home Mortgage.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, so it looks like the gorge. Yeah, where is the gorge? And let's see what. Yeah, Washington. Yeah, it looks like it's like grassy, flatter, like plains, but there's a gorge in the background, and then the Red Rocks is like carved into the picture like a national park with the most legit amphitheater you've ever seen in your life carved into it, and it's impressive looking.
Yeah, it looks. How far is it from the city? Like, is it
20 minutes.
It's not. It's an Uber ride. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Uber ride costs you $60.
It looks like is the river run in the background. There's no. There's some. I'm trying to look at pictures.
There's a trail. There's trails all around. There's a state park.
My one trip to Denver, I did not have a car. We did the train into downtown, and then we went out to Golden. Did you get to Coors? Did you go to Coors?
We went by Coors.
You didn't tour
We
the
didn't tour
the
it.
brewery?
No,
That was a good time.
it was. If you're going to Red Rocks, by the way, wear comfortable shoes because you're walking upstairs.
There's no elevator.
There's no
Carved
elevator.
into the mountain.
You're either walking up an incline or you're walking upstairs.
Sucking air too. Your mind.
Yeah, that's 6,400 feet.
Wow, man, I wonder if the artists are working.
Oh yeah, everybody's
Performing there
working.
is working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get there 2 hours early because you're gonna be out of breath and sucking air by the time you get to your seat.
Everybody's got like pulmonary edema at the end of the night.
Yeah, but you can kick a football a long way. So Gary Allen got paid $100,000 by the Indiana State Fair to do that concert, but he was not the highest paid.
He could have bought some sunglasses with that and stopped complaining about the sun.
Buddy Guy, $135,000. Buddy Guy. He is I believe, a legendary blues act.
Buddy Guy's a badass. I can't cuss, right?
You can say whatever you want. It's
Yeah.
after 8 o'clock. You can
Very
say-
good. Buddy Guy is an absolute legend.
He's 88 years old.
And just absolutely still
I
getting
bet
it.
he's killing it, but
Yeah.
like
his request. So the Indy Star gets. I think they did because it's a public records deal. They ask for what everybody wanted. Requested but nixed. He had asked in his rider for a bottle of Remy Martin cognac, a bottle of Pinot Noir, and 6 bottles of Heineken, and they said no. But they did give him Stewart's Black Cherry Soda, candy bars, a half pound of raw unsalted almonds, and freshly squeezed orange juice with pulp. But they said no to his. They said no to his alcohol because it's a state fair.
These numbers can't be right.
$130,000.
$135,000 for Buddy Guy.
Gladys Knight without the pips, $111,000. Sublime, $110,000. If you want to get Sublime for the Rushville Amphitheater, you only need $110,000. Dog Star, which is Keanu Reeves, $100,000.
he performed at the state fair
Yeah, on like a Wednesday night
this year.
This year, his band. They were there
I
August
didn't
8th.
hear any of that.
Our friend Maggie, the Willpower Category 5 super fan,
Yeah.
she went and she had a printed Keanu Reeves big head like she does for Willpower.
Yeah, she's insane.
She's a lovely woman. This slander will not stand. Maggie's wonderful with her pink hair. She rolled in with her big head and they told her no, she can't have it. And then there were other people with signs there and she was pissed.
Well, I didn't know Keanu Reeves had a band.
Yes, I heard it was terrible, but he does have a band and he played.
Where they play?
They play on the free stage.
I understand that, but what kind of genre do they play?
Oh.
I have literally no idea. Gary Allen, $100,000, played on Friday the 16th. Their dressing room requests: they wanted soft drinks, water, Gatorade, 1 pound bag of Starbucks, 14 dark hand towels for them to use on stage. They requested but did not get a liter bottle of Tito's, 2 bottles of quote unquote good Cabernet Sauvignon Blanc, and a liter of bourbon. They were told no to the bourbon.
All alcohol got told no.
Yeah, basically they got told no to the
There's
alcohol.
only one building on the
No, it's changed.
Oh, they moved it around a
It
little bit.
is a wet fair now, Zach Burcham.
So why are they denying these people booze?
I don't know. Maybe they just don't want to give it to them.
They were
They'll give them
limited to the
$100,000,
one
but they
building.
won't give them a $30 bottle of bourbon. There's alcohol. There were 3 bars within walking distance of the stage for us to go to.
Dog Star is going to be at in the Hammond at tomorrow night, Hammond, Indiana, the venue at Horseshoe Hammond. And then the next day they're going to be in Columbia, Missouri, and then they're going to be in Nebraska on the 27th.
That's the name of their band, is Dog Star.
Dog Star, alternative rock band formed in Los Angeles in 1991.
Fog Hat, $50,000. They wanted 6 bottles of Bud Light, and we're told no. Newsboys was there the day that that Zach and I were there. Newsboys, the Christian alt music band from the 90s, $40,000. You can get Newsboys. The Paul McCartney tribute. They had no hospitality requests, $14,000.
Good people.
Van Halen tribute band, $6,000. Hard Day's Night Beatles tribute band, $5,400. And somewhere in here, yes, the Swifties, the Taylor Swift tribute band, you could get them for $5,000. They did not require any hospitality, but they did want 5 double occupancy hotel rooms.
Well, they don't get along with each other, but
Yeah, you gotta keep them separate.
Interesting.
I just now realize this is your wedding cup.
They are. You could take that home.
Well, yeah, because I didn't get invited.
I mean, we weren't that close.
I didn't either.
Zach didn't come either. I only had 350 invitations. Do you realize how fast those go out?
Evidently.
A lot of blood relatives also had a
Yeah,
similar
I
reaction.
can't believe I did not hear that Keanu Reeves was going to be. I have no interest in
This is what happened when Boss Hog records on Tuesday, and then we miss. We have been so out of sorts, and I have terrible news about the programming next week. No show. We're going to be gone. No show next week.
I'm going to go ahead and delete that off my calendar right now.
Yeah, you're free next week.
You know what? Which is let me look.
Do whatever the hell you want next Thursday, unless you and Bones want to do a show.
Which is good
You
because
got a key.
I wouldn't be here anyway because I have a cross country meet.
Problem solved.
So I can just do the show by myself.
It's true. Yeah, you want a key?
You want to go off the rails real quick?
That's Rob Kendall's stick. You can't take it. Well, we're already at that time, guys. Zach Burcham, you got any final thoughts for me?
Man, if I did, they just escaped my brain. Look at my schedule, but
I heard that there are big problems with traffic on Trojan Lane. The plants have done too well.
oh, okay.
and
So yeah.
cars are crashing because of tall plants.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know if anybody's crashed. This is an actual problem. So they did a tremendous job of landscaping Trojan Lane, and it is for many, many people the gateway to Newcastle because a lot of people come into town off of 70 and they turn right and they go up Trojan Lane and they go to the Field House or they go to Jack's Donuts. Those are the 2 beacons of light that are on that road. They did a great job landscaping it. Apparently, some of the plants got a little bit bigger than they thought.
Didn't they look at the packet of seeds where it says this is going to grow to 14 feet tall?
And I figured
It's right there on the back.
one was
Zone
like-
7,
one was
14
like
feet tall.
hydrangeas or something like that. Here's what I think might have happened is that like many Midwest communities, almost everybody in this town drives an SUV or a truck. If you're in an SUV or a truck, it's not as problematic, although there are some plants that are pretty tall. Like I don't know, they're like something like small tree out there, hydrangeas or something like that. They mentioned what they were at the city council meeting on Monday. They have like a flowering, like a ball of greenery at the top. When I'm in my little Mazda, I can't see anything over the top of these. And there's a nursing home, a high school, a tennis thing, the Hall of Fame, and then a medical building, the Forest Ridge. And when you're turning left or right, or you're turning left out of there, you legit can't see. Also, the road's got a hill. It like high points in the middle of Trojan Lane, and it kind of drops a little bit to the park, then it drops down to 3. So they're going to rip out the taller plants and move them potentially.
Going to transplant some plants?
Yes, but they have to wait until they're done. They have to be out of kind of their flowering season. So it'll be like October before they can do this.
This is a safety issue now, Zach Burcham.
Yeah. Well, they don't want to. I think they don't want to obliterate.
We're choosing plant lives over human lives.
Absolutely.
People just need to drive a little slower. They're going to move them over.
Maybe they can make it an active construction zone and make some money for the state.
They're going to move them over to the water tower area over by
the freshly painted water tower.
The freshly repainted water tower. I flew my drone over there trying to get a picture. I don't know if anybody ever seen it. It's really impressive. They had the entire thing draped, so they had it tarped. They had like this weird hat thing on top of it that was a tarp, and then you could tell they tucked up another tarp underneath it. But it looked like obviously it came apart, but it was like one big tarp that hung all the way around the water tower, all the way to the ground from the top to the bottom. But they're going to decorate that area and make it look very nice. There's mention of putting like a building there that might be used for events. I do not understand that, but they're going to landscape it look nice.
They should finish the Expo Center first.
Well, yeah, or
or the Henry County Forest.
Nobody needs an event center there or like an event building there. Like somebody should just find a way to make the building that Stenniger's was in like function. But I'm all for landscaping and making it look nice. And apparently, they got some involvement from some neighbors in handling the maintenance and keeping these up. There's some fruiting trees that are there apparently that they said they get those cleaned up, and like that could be people go over there and pick a peach or pick an apple or something. So sounds nifty.
I got poisoned by an apple from the city, and I would like to sue the government.
Yeah, that's going to go well.
I would like to go talk about the poison fruit. Somebody called 911 today because they found tomatoes on their ground. I saw that today from a sheriff's deputy on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
Like they found tomatoes
On their property.
so they called 911.
Yes.
What were they afraid of the tomatoes?
It wasn't on the copy. I assume maybe they're poisoned. I don't know. I said, listen, this is how you know the Italian mafia is moving in. That's the first thing that happens is you get tomatoes on your property, and the next thing you know, Tony is here and he needs cover. Zach, thanks for coming tonight.
No problem.
You did great.
I got here.
You didn't feel good about yourself after all the work you've done.
It's been a week.
That's good. Bones, we haven't seen you in 348 episodes.
We have not.
If we bring you back in that same interval, it'll be episode 708. I'm going to put you down for 2 weeks from now. That's too long.
It'll be approximately 2031.
Could you imagine if the show's alive in 2031?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't think we'd make it a year.
I didn't think. I'm blown away. The show is literally the epitome of 1 foot in front of the other. String the weeks together, and here we are.
Sometimes
look at this.
sometimes
We have
tripping.
a laptop. We have show notes printed on paper.
This is a real deal place.
I mean,
It's like
when I
good
did it,
it's
we
like-
did it. The show notes were written on the back of a paper plate.
Yeah,
And it's not even like it's good, nice quality paper.
yeah.
Like,
This
you
is
can't-
paper from home.
you
This is
can't-
from my home printer.
You can't
today.
even see like the screens through the paper. It's good, high quality.
It's
paper.
legitimate. I wrote this today in the truck. Saved the show notes. Had all the stuff laid out from when Chase was going to be here. And then Bones and I had talked maybe 3 weeks ago, a month ago. And I was like, yeah, we'll bring you back on. We'd love to have you on. And then we ignored it. And then last week, he's like, you got a big listenership in Ohio? I'm like, hell if I know. He's like, I'm listening. And you've got the Ohio Lottery.
Commercial.
The Ohio Lottery is advertising
that's always
on the show.
That is really interesting.
Did you download it? Were you in Cincinnati or something?
Nope.
You were at home.
I was coming home from work. I was listening. I was like, why do I have a commercial for the Ohio Lottery? Like, I looked down.
That's
it was
interesting.
Boss Hog of Liberty.
That is the fascinating thing with podcasts is when you get those automatically pumped in ads. Because I think I was listening to a podcast and I was getting ads out of I was listening to Bob and Tom, dear leader, might check on this, on their app, and was getting ads out of Kentucky, about Louisville and stuff like that. I'm like, or Lexington. I'm like, why am I listening to an ad for a gas station or a service shop in Lexington when I'm walking around in Indianapolis?
I think it's a matter of where it thinks your IP address is. So if your phone downloads or grabs something and it thinks, hey, your phone is sitting in this state, I think that's what happens.
I was on towers though. I wasn't on because sometimes Wi-Fi networks get real wonky. If anybody's ever been to a race, it's really interesting. Used to use even portable cell phone towers.
I've been on a cruise ship and it's thought I was in Germany before. All my pictures are tagged and they're in Pappelberg, Germany, where the ship was built. So
I was at
weird.
I think I was at
A little creepy.
Yeah, I think I was at IMS one time and I thought I was in Iceland because it was for MotoGP, I think, and they'll bring in auxiliary mobile cell phone towers, I think, and I think the teams bring them, the league brings them in. Formula One would do the same thing, and or NASCAR will have a thing where it thinks you're at the last event that the NASCAR was at because there's something that's messed up. But yeah,
Bones, this is awesome, man.
I think I was the first one to bring this show over international too.
You listened to us in Bermuda,
I did.
Bahamas, Bermuda.
Bermuda.
I'm going to Bermuda for the very first time in October.
Ooh, lucky. Nice.
What's the one place I have to go?
Where are you staying at?
I'm staying on a cruise ship. I'll be there for 8 hours.
Ooh.
I get one thing. I get to do one thing. Do I need to go to? We'll ask there's 3 areas to go to.
Okay.
I can go to the Royal Naval Dockyards. I can go to St. George, or I can go to Hamilton. Those 3 towns are basically my 3 choices.
Hamilton.
Go to Hamilton.
Yeah.
And then go to get a rum swizzle
Run Swizzle.
at the Swizzle Inn.
Yeah.
That's my one must happen.
Must happen.
Zach's looking this up now to try to figure out what the hell we're talking about.
No, actually, I was looking up because Christy Avery asked about there's some place to look for the Ready projects. I was looking, and it's indianaready.com.
I like my own bourbon taste, by the way. The bourbon I brought is the one that's my favorite. Nothing against the Bobolink. It's spectacular. But I'm not as much of a rye guy.
Okay, the rye, I get that.
I'm not as much of a rye guy.
And you don't like the 8-point proof higher.
I think it smells spectacular, but
It
the
does
actual sipping, I enjoy the Peerless better.
We'll now have that afterwards.
I will do that.
You can't go anywhere else in Bermuda besides those 3 spots?
I can go anywhere, but I only have a certain amount of time.
Horseshoe Bay.
See, I'm not a beach guy. That's my thing. We're doing another cruise like in February.
Yeah.
I got like a beach day or two planned already.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the bar.
Okay.
So that's why I need to know. And your expert advice.
Well, if you're not a beach guy, I would just say Hamilton.
Okay.
Just walk around. You can do whatever. It's very safe, very clean.
It's very expensive. Did you have the fish sandwich on whoever the hell bread it is? Their official sandwich is like fish sandwich on raisin bread.
I think we had it. I
Ugh,
can't
it's
remember.
weird. Isn't that weird?
It's been a while.
Did you have any
since
weird
I've
food
been
at State Fair? Did you have any weird stuff?
Pickle pizza. Sarah ordered the pickle pizza.
Oh,
Vegetarian.
That's terrible.
I went to the pizza
Not
stand
that.
I get my kids pizza at, had pickle pizza there. I don't know if it was the official pickle pizza stand, but
It was by the pre-stage.
they had pepper, and this was over on the main drag.
So the key to this, Zach, is that if you've had something hot before, you kind of open up your palate and then you can taste it the next time. The first time you taste any bourbon, it's just going to taste like alcohol.
Yeah. Especially the 116 proof first drink of the day. Next time,
That's so much smoother now. Yeah, it's much better.
next time I'm here, I'll bring the Jack Daniels Coy Hill. That's 139 proof.
Jesus Christ. He's trying to kill us, folks. Anything else?
I got nothing. Stop Bobolink. All these picks are still there at all 5 locations. And we got more coming.
How much Blanton's do you have?
I think I have 3 bottles. You want one?
I have 2.
Oh,
I got a store pick and another. I'm good.
I got a
That's it.
store pick, and I think just one more. I give away more Blantons I keep.
Yeah, that's. I'm sure that if you're on this list, you're on the. You can get it if you need it. Yeah, I've got 2. I don't need it. I don't need any extra.
Okay,
I'm good. I need a bottle of Eagle Rare. My wife would like a bottle of Eagle Rare.
Okay,
but I don't have that.
Well, if I get invited before the episode, what was it? 7:20
episode. We got you penciled down for 7:08. It'll be August 22nd, 2031.
Okay. Well, if we get invited back before then, I'll have a bottle of Eagle Rare
Supposed
for you.
to taste like grape. Let's see.
We're gonna grapiness to it.
I've had it. I like it just fine.
It's good. $40 bottle bourbon.
If you can find it for $40. If you could listen, folks, if you can find yourself a bottle of Eagle Rare for $40, buy 6. Good luck with that.
I'll buy 1 and bring it to you.
There
How
you
about
go.
that?
Spectacular. Let's see. I'm going to go to the IndyCar race in Milwaukee. By the time we are back, the next time we're back on the show, there will have been 3 IndyCar races because there's 2 at Milwaukee Labor Day weekend. The Bitnall Grand Prix is this weekend, so we will be looking at the Nashville Grand Prix to finish the season. Will be happening like the next weekend. So we'll be back on a Thursday. The next Friday and Saturday will be the race. Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be the race. And then it's going to be football time. Big Bengals fan, right?
How about this? I will bring a bottle of Eagle Rare. I want you to give me the whole race experience. I have never once been Indy 500.
You come. Come in May. We'll bring you out. I can't let you sit with me during the race.
Why not?
Because my wife sits next to me.
Oh,
but I can.
There's another seat on the other side of you.
These are seats passed down generation to generation. But
okay, fine.
Honestly, though, I probably could find a seat in the area because there's like 35 seats around us that are from a family that might hook us up.
I'll look for it just like your wedding invitation.
It'll be right there next to it.
Yeah.
Just keep checking the mailbox.
Yep.
I might UPS it out.
You might FedEx it, I believe.
DHL. We're a DHL family for Alex Pillow. We will catch you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you so very much for being a part of this. Zach, you've done a hell of a job.
I'm trying.